What's up, everybody? Mr. Spottelson here. For today's algebra prep lesson 6. Just a couple reminders here first. Okay, if you're watching this video, you probably don't need to hear this warning, but I'll still give it, okay? We have 2 more weeks left in the 9 weeks. Okay, if you're somebody that has not completed the quiz, either quiz that we've taken yet, and again, that's a very short handful, very small amount of people. You need to do that. A 0 out of whatever as a summative grade is not going to be good. Okay, so we need to take care of that. As far as grades, everything's checking out pretty well. I'll be in contact with you if you have a missing assignment that we need to get done. We have 2 more lessons this year. We've got lesson 6, lesson 7. Next week will be a review and then a quiz, and that's all. Okay, so we're at the final home stretch here, which is exciting. It's not as exciting as it would be. I wish we were in class and we could be together during all of this, but you know what? We have to deal with what we've been given, okay? So, as far as today, we're going to add and subtract fractions, which again, I know we've done a lot of. It's not really that much. You guys are like, Mr. Spot, this isn't, this is pretty easy stuff. It is, okay, but it is stuff that algebra teachers say all the time kids don't know how to do. Okay, so that's why we're doing it. Yes, you can use your calculator on all of it. I'm going to show you how to not use a calculator. Can I police if you're using a calculator or not? No. The two, I guess the two ways that I'll try to point it out to you is that the first chapter when you get to algebra next year will be no calculator and it'll have this on it. So it's important to learn it that way. And then the second reason is you can always do it my way and then go back and check your answer with your calculator. In fact, that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Okay, so that's that. Here we go. Okay, add or subtract. Now, if you remember, when we add or subtract fractions, we need what we call a common denominator. Okay, and the common denominator is the bottom. It's the numerator over the denominator. So that right there is our denominator. Now, on these first 2 examples, I've already put ones with common denominators. I've got 5 and 5, so I know that my denominator of this is going to be 5. And then it's a plus, so it's going to be 1 plus 2. I'm going to add the numerators. So 1 plus 2 is 3, and my common denominator is 5. And I get 3/5. I always want to make sure that I can't simplify that at all. 3/5 does not simplify at all, so my answer is just 3/5. Okay. Same thing for the other one down here. We need a common denominator, which we already have. So I know the bottom of my answer is going to be 6. And then I take 5 minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4, so I have 4 over 6. Now, this simplifies. Okay, I can divide this by 2, and I can divide this by 2, and we're going to end up with an answer of 2/3. It's very important that you always put your answer as the most simplified fraction as possible. Okay, so those, very easy. All of those have common denominators. It's just 5 minus 1 and what was it? 2 plus 1 up here. Yeah, very easy ones. Okay. Now, it does get a little bit more complicated when we switch with ones that don't have common denominators. Now, in order to find a common denominator or we want a least common denominator. The way to do that is by finding what we call the least common denominator. And we do that by finding the least common multiple. So what I like to do is what we did in lesson, I believe it was 5. Let's find the LCM. Okay, so for 6, we're going to do 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. And for 8, we're going to have 8, 16, 24. Okay, there's my common multiple, 24. So that's also my least common denominator. Now, let's start with 5 over 6. How do I get my denominator to 24? Well, I have to multiply it by 4. 6 times 4 equals 24. So, since I multiplied the bottom by 4, I have to multiply the top by 4, and I get 20 over 24. Okay, now I'm going to clear some space here. We do the same thing down here with 3 over 8. How do I get 8 to my common denominator of 24? Well, I multiply it by 3, so I have 24. And then if I multiply the bottom, I have to also multiply the top by 3, and I get 9 over 24. So now I have 20 over 24 plus 9 over 24. In this case here, I get 29 over 24. Now, Mr. Spot would ask, am I done? Is that simplified all the way? No, it is not. Okay, we need, this right now is what we call an improper fraction because the numerator is higher than the denominator. We've talked about that a lot. Okay, we need to turn it into a mixed number. So I know my whole number is going to be 1. And then if whatever's left over, which is going to be, if I use 24 of this 29, I'm going to have 5 left. So my answer is going to be 1 and 5/24. Okay. Let's look at one more. Okay. Same thing. We're going to go down here. We're going to find our LCM. Okay. So for 15, I'm going to go 15, 30, 45, 60. We'll see if they match up after that. And then 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Boom. Uh-oh. We've got ourselves a common denominator. So let's start with 7 over 15. How am I going to get that 15 to our common denominator, which is 30? Well, I'm going to multiply it by 2, and I'm going to multiply the top by 2. And that's going to give me 14 over 30. And then 1 over 6. How am I going to get the 6 to 30? Well, I'm going to multiply by 5. Whatever. Multiply also the top by 5. So I'm going to have 5 over 30. So this problem is really 14 over 30 minus 5 over 30, which gets me 9 over 30. Now, I'm not done yet because I can divide this by 3 and divide that by 3, and I end up for an answer of 3/10. That is my answer there. Okay? So, does it take a little bit longer to do it without a calculator? Yes. Am I going to encourage you and ask you, let's try to do it without a calculator, at least for today? Check your answer then with your calculator to make sure you get the right answer, and we'll be good there. All right, is there anything policing me? I can't look through your camera or something and see that you're doing it, but I'm asking you to. Favor for Mr. Spot, maybe. How about that? Okay. Same thing we've been doing. I'll have the worksheet posted on Canvas. You're doing 1 through 25. Please, I know it's 1 through 25, and you're like, oh my gosh, Mr. Spot, 25 problems. Okay, listen. I think the first 8 of them, or the first 12 of them, are all the common denominator. Okay, so they're like these. They take 8 seconds. Okay, so don't rush. Do it right. Get it done. Okay, turn it in. And then you have one more left. That's the crazy thing. All right, we're almost at the end here, so finish strong. I'll have all grades updated, and I'll be emailing out and calling people that are in danger or that are struggling. So we'll get in contact, and I'll see you next time. All right. Hope everybody has a great week. 2 more to go. It's getting close. See ya.